So today we're going to talk about the future of artificial intelligence. And our guide? You might be surprised. It's a cartoon hero from 2009. Yeah, it might sound a little strange, but the story of Astro Boy actually gives us a surprisingly powerful way to understand the AI that's shaping our world right now.
But let's be real for a second. Why a family movie, right? How can a cartoon help us wrap our heads around one of the most complex technologies of our time? It's a totally fair question, and the answer, well, it's actually pretty simple.
It's because for most of us, our first introduction to AI doesn't come from a textbook or a lab, it comes from stories. Characters like Astro Boy shape our expectations, our anxieties, and our hopes about this technology, way before we ever interact with the real thing.
Okay, so let's dive into the world of Astro Boy. At its core, you could say it's kind of a futuristic spin on the story of Pinocchio. But wow, is it packed with themes that feel more relevant today than ever before.
So the story kicks off with this brilliant but absolutely heartbroken scientist, Dr. Tenma. He loses his son in a terrible accident. And in his grief, he does something pretty questionable. He builds a perfect robot copy of his son and even puts the boy's memories inside him. And this one act, it just sends Astro Boy on this incredible and difficult journey to figure out who, or maybe what, he really is.
And the world that Astro Boy lives in? Well, it's a place of stark inequality. You've got this beautiful, perfect flying city, Metro City, for all the rich folks. But then down on the surface, it's this polluted scrap heap where everyone else is just left to survive. And in both of these places, you have humans and super smart robots living together, but their relationship is tense, to say the least.
This quote from Kristen Bell, who is the voice of Korra in the film, just nails the movie's central conflict. The robots are treated like second-class citizens, and the story uses this whole dynamic to explore these really classic human struggles. Things like prejudice, acceptance, and that big question of what it actually means to be a person, whether you're made of flesh and blood or wires and steel.
Okay, so you've got all these big, complex ideas swirling around in the movie. How do we even begin to sort through them? Well, we can use a simple four-part framework. Think of it like putting on a set of special glasses that'll help us connect what's happening in the story back to the real world of AI.
First up is AI literacy. This lens gets us looking for clues about how the technology in the movie supposedly works. I mean, the film isn't a tech manual, obviously, but it gives us hints about how Astro Boy processes information, how he learns, and how he makes decisions. Second, we've got AI ethics. This lens really zeroes in on the moral dilemmas. You know, what are the risks of creating a robot with a child's memories? What kind of tough choices do the characters have to make? It's all about the consequences, the safeguards, and the hard questions with no easy answers.
Third is AI fluency. This one is all about the relationship between people and AI. We're looking at how they talk to each other, how they work together, and, of course, where they clash. Do they help each other out, or does their interaction just create a whole new set of problems?
And finally, AI development. This lens pushes us to think about the why behind the AI. Why was Astro Boy even built in the first place? Remember, he was born from grief. So what are the consequences, the intended ones and the unintended ones, of that very, very human choice? Okay, now let's put this framework into action. By using these lenses, we can start to peel apart the real, the Hollywood fantasy, from the real, the stuff that actually parallels our own world. And this is where the film becomes a seriously useful tool for conversation.
So here's a great example. This highlights a really critical distinction. In the movie, Astro Boy has real feelings, real consciousness. That's the Hollywood part. In reality, no AI we have today is self-aware like that. But, and this is the important part, the parallel is what matters. We face the very real challenge of designing AI systems that align with our human ethics and values. So the drama in the movie might be fiction, but the debate it kicks off is absolutely real.
And that brings us to the most important point of all. A movie like Astro Boy isn't valuable because it's predicting a future full of flying robots. Its real value is as a conversation starter, a prompt to get us thinking about the very real choices we are making about technology right here, right now.
Because when it comes right down to it, these stories aren't really about the technology. They aren't just scary tales about evil robots. They're mirrors. They reflect our own hopes, our fears, our biases, and our own ability to do great things and to cause great harm. They're about us.
Which leads us to this essential takeaway. AI is a tool. It's a tool that magnifies human intention, so any good or any harm that comes from it is going to be a direct result of our decisions, our values, and our behavior. The responsibility, it's squarely on our shoulders.
So we'll leave you with a final thought to take with you. After you watch the film, what's one question you could ask, with your family or your students or just some friends, about the human choices that are shaping the technology in our own world today? Because that, right there, is where the real conversation begins.